Grandfather of teen killed in home invasion calls AR-15 use unfair. How can you nobly fight home invaders? On guard, ye cur! Draw steel, ye trespassing scoundrel! Not weapons. Someone breaks into my house. Get my satin white glove and strike the burglar across the face with it. Burglar now has to leave my house since I challenged him to pistols at dawn. We're still 5 hours from the sun coming up. Home invasion successfully averted. Rematching them by breaking into their house at a later date. Artillery adds dignity to what would otherwise be an ugly brawl. Frederick the Great embraced the wisdom of der Alt Fritz. I remember the story of someone shooting a burglar with a single-shot 20mm loaded with HE. Would he feel better if his grandson was killed with a hammer? Perhaps with a bayonet charge. Civil War era cannon filled with grape shot, with a musket as the founders intended. You strip down and oil up in front of the invader and challenge him to a match of pink ration. I wouldn't fight them. I would listen to what they have to say, and that's what no one did. Noble? Trample upon them with your noble steed. Battleship, best of 3. A fine double gun seems appropriate. I own an Enfield for home defense since that is what my great-grandfather intended. 400 break into my house. Bloody hell. As I grab my gas mask and Enfield rifle, blow a golf ball-sized hole through the first man. He's dead on the spot. Draw my Lot 1908 pistol on the second man. Miss him entirely because it's out of battery and won't shoot. I have to resort to the Winchester automatic carbine mounted at the top of my curio cabinet. Loaded .351 WSL. Over the top, lads. The lead slugs shred 2 men in the mag dump. The sound and over-penetration set off car alarms. Draw Imperial Japan sword and charge the last terrified Hun. He bleeds out waiting on the police to arrive since severed limbs are impossible to stitch up, just as General Tojo intended. Break into house in America. Get shot by gun. That's not fair. He used gun. How am I supposed to break into your house and steal your things if you have gun? You know the rules, and so do I. You're gonna get this from any other guy. Since he violated the NAP by trespassing, I would nuke the preschool his child goes to in self-defense, before selling half of his extended family into slavery for profit, and keeping the other half as gnomes in my pleasure gardens to show off to my contemporaries. His grandfather would be my indentured slave, like a house nigga in charge of the rest of the servants until his debts are paid off as agreed. $88,888.88 per minute trespassed. The intruder would be shot by an AR-15 with a service fee billed to his last address as $69.69 per trigger pull. AR-15 is unfair, with a powdered wig as our forefathers intended. Keck. It's now IRL memery. Dueling pistols. The one the invader wields has a blank. I remember that article from years ago when it happened. I also remember that the grandfather was also a low-life ex-con and probably the reason why his grandchild turned out to be a shitbag like him. Should thou find thyself within a house or other structure, the finest and most noble choice is oft the side sword and buckler. With the side sword thou mayest both cut and thrust with great effect, gaining the advantage of reach in most encounters. The buckler serveth not only as a stout defense, but also as a secondary striking weapon, and the most well-wrought of such shields may turn aside the shot of a handgun, as well as blows from other arms. When I am called to the test of skill, I seize my buckler and side sword, for herein lieth the truest form of honorable combat.
You miss the love you lost long ago, and when nobody is nigh, you